Hello everyone, Kryptonite here and welcome back to another episode of Satisfactory. So this episode's going to be a little bit different because we had some issues with the recording, so I've had to be a little bit creative because I didn't want to disappoint you guys and I still wanted to release a video for you all. So this video is a little bit shorter than the previous one and probably going to be shorter than the rest of them, but without further ado, let's get straight into it. So just to recap episode 1 quickly, we managed to get all the basics done. We've got some iron plates, some iron rods, and we've got copper wire in production, and we've got a fair bit of concrete as well. In today's episode, what we're going to do is have a few goals. So my goals in this episode are to make production more efficient. We want to double our production output. We also want to start automating cables. We want to get the MAM built so we can get some more research done, so we can unlock some more items, and in the end of this episode I want to be able to complete all of the tier 1 milestones. So first of all, as you can see, our iron rods and our iron plates, the production of them, the smelter is getting a bit held up with the construction. So what we're going to do to fix this problem is we're going to add another constructor in both of the lines. So what we're going to be doing is using the splitters and the mergers that we unlocked in the last episode. We're going to incorporate them with another constructor. So basically what we are doing is splitting the output of the smelter into 2 constructors, which just makes it more efficient and also doubles our production rate as well. So now that we have doubled the production and made the iron plates and the iron rods a bit more efficient, we want to focus on the screw production, because for some of the milestones and the goals we do need quite a few screws. So what we're going to do here is use the 1 miner. We're going to split that into 3 smelters, and then we're going to have a line of constructors to make the iron rods, and then from the other 2 smelters we're going to make them produce screws, and they're all going to have their own separate storage. Now as you can see, I was having a bit of an issue with the splitters and the mergers. For some reason I was able to use the mergers perfectly fine. I could add them to an already existing conveyor belt and that would work perfectly fine, but for some reason with the splitters, if I tried to use them on an existing conveyor belt, for some reason sometimes it wouldn't work, so I actually had to delete the conveyor belts and then put the splitters in and do it that way. If anyone has any suggestions to solving this problem, as I said, sometimes they'd work, but most of the time they wouldn't. If anyone has any solutions, then drop me down a comment down below. I'd definitely like to find a solution. Saves getting rid of the conveyor belts and doing it all again. So as you can see here in that time lapse, we're just using the same process as we used before with the mergers and the splitters. Now one thing you will notice is that this is extremely messy, and trust me, it is extremely triggering, especially for me. And it is kind of heartbreaking seeing it so messy, but at the end of the day we need to get this done and we need to get a whole load of production. We need to get things unlocked as quickly as possible so we can start using foundations and making everything look a bit more aesthetically pleasing and a lot more efficient than it already is now. So now we've finished doubling our production and getting some more screws on the go. We have kind of overloaded our power system, so now it is time to get some more biomass burners down. So we're going to quickly chuck some of those biomass burners down, hook them all up to power and give them a whole load of biomass and get this thing powered back up so it's all up and running again. So next we're going to head up to our copper wire production and our copper miner, and what we're going to do here is start making cables automated. So what we need to do here, as you can see in the time lapse, is we want to add a splitter from the miner, we want to build another smeltery, and then from that smeltery we want to go into a constructor to make copper wire, and then from that constructor we want to go into another constructor which will turn that copper wire into copper cable and then straight into storage. and that basically automates our copper cable production. So now not only do we have quite a lot of copper wire, but we also have copper cables. So after all of this, just a quick recap, we've doubled our production in iron rods, we've doubled our production in iron plates, we've also got plenty of screws coming out, and we've also got copper wire and copper cables. So that means we can tick a couple of things off our list. We can tick off the more efficient, we can tick off the double our production, we can tick off our cable production. Now we're going to head back down to our hub so we can select the milestones and get them completed. Now we have all of these resources going. So after a little bit of waiting around, we can get these resources. And yet again, every time I come back down from the copper, I see how messy it is, and I do get kind of triggered about how messy, and I mean, it's organized because it works, but it's not really as organized as I'd like it. But hopefully soon in the next few episodes, once we get a bit more things unlocked, we can start actually turning it into a functional looking factory. So we'll head down and we're going to build a lookout tower so we can have a look and see what we've accomplished. So over here we've got our copper wire and our copper cables. We've got our concrete production and all our biomass burners generating power for us all. We've got all of our screws and our iron rods in production. And then we've also got our iron plates. And then just over here in the corner, we've got our other concrete production. So now our pod has returned. It's time to head back and get the other milestone done and dusted. Now I am aware that if you are quick enough, you can complete 2 milestones before the pod launches. Unfortunately this time I wasn't as quick as I would like to be. So now we've unlocked the field research and we've completed tier 1. That's another checkpoint off our list to complete, so that's all good. And now it's time to build the MAM so we can get some research done. And now the main reason why I want to get the MAM unlocked is because I do remember something about overclocking. Now as you can see with our concrete production, our miner is outputting 30 limestone, and then into our crafter we have 45 limestone coming in, but we've only got 15 concrete coming out, so it's not exactly very efficient. So we want to get the MAM built so we can do some research, and if I remember rightly, I think it's in the power slugs. So we're going to head over to the power slugs tab. We're going to research that because we did pick up them in the first episode, and that will unlock the power shard. Now the power shard, as you can see here, will unlock the overclocking, but first we will need to craft one. So what we're going to do is craft a craft bench quickly, and then with the craft bench we can craft our power shard. We can head back into the MAM and we can unlock overclocking. Now with the overclocking, if we head back over to our constructor on our concrete production, you will see a new option down at the bottom. So we've got clock speed and we've got a target production rate. So at the moment it's at 100%, which is producing 15 per minute concrete. But we want to kind of dial this down a little bit so that the production is really efficient. So we're going to play around, and we find that if we set it at 10 per minute, then our miner doesn't get backed up. Because if we head over to our miner now, we are mining 30 per minute, and then our constructor here is taking in 30 per minute and taking out 10 per minute, but it's not causing our miner to back up like it was before. So we have a nice steady stream. There's no backlog and there's no blockages. So now we can tick off the build the MAM and we can tick off tier 1 complete. And I think it's time there to end the episode, unfortunately. Now, as I said, I know this video has been a bit different to the others. Be sure that when we come back with episode 3, it'll be back to normal. I just had a few problems with the recording of this one, so I had to kind of be a bit creative and do something a little bit different. So apologies for that. But if you still like the episode, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe as well, because episode 3 is going to be a really good one. We managed to unlock plenty more things, and we managed to make things a little bit more efficient. It's been Kryptonite here, thank you all for watching and I will see you in the next video.